The deep woods had always been a place of mystery and whispers in our small town, and on that moonless night, fueled by the bravado of teenage dares, my friends and I ventured into its heart. The trees closed in around us like ancient sentinels, their branches creaking and reaching out as if to warn us of the secrets they held. The beam of my flashlight struggled to penetrate the suffocating darkness, illuminating nothing beyond a few feet ahead. Nervous laughter echoed through the air as we navigated the labyrinthine trails, our footsteps muffled by a thick carpet of fallen leaves. As we ventured deeper, unease settled over us like a heavy fog. Shadows seemed to dance at the corners of our vision, and every rustle of leaves sent shivers down our spines. Our jokes grew quieter, our steps more hesitant, as if an unspoken fear had woven its way into our hearts. Then, through the suffocating blackness, we heard it. A soft whisper, a susurrus carried by the wind, words indiscernible yet laden with a chilling intent. A collective shiver ran down our spines, and we exchanged uneasy glances, the mirth of our adventure dissipating like smoke. With a strained chuckle, I tried to dismiss the sound as a trick of the wind, but the unease persisted. It was as if the very woods were alive, watching us, listening to us. My flashlight flickered, and for a heart-stopping moment, darkness threatened to engulf us entirely. A hushed curse escaped my lips as I smacked the flashlight, coaxing it back to life, its feeble glow a fragile shield against the encroaching night. Then, as we rounded a bend in the trail, our flashlights illuminated a clearing ahead, and our breath caught in our throats. In the center of the clearing stood a decrepit cabin, its wooden walls sagging and windows shattered, an embodiment of forsaken solitude. Shadows clung to its weathered exterior, casting it in an aura of malevolence. But what truly froze our blood was the sight of a single, flickering candle in one of the windows, an impossible sight in a cabin that had long been abandoned. Heartbeats thundered in my ears as we exchanged fearful glances, the same thought echoing in our minds. Who had lit that candle, and why? Despite the chill that gnawed at my bones, a surge of curiosity compelled me forward, my friends trailing behind as we approached the cabin. The floorboards creaked beneath our weight, each step a reminder of the cabin's decaying state. As we peered through the shattered window, our flashlights revealed a room frozen in time, its furniture covered in dusty sheets, a layer of neglect covering every surface. But then, our beams settled upon a figure, a silhouette standing in the corner of the room, its back turned to us. My heart skipped a beat, a cold sweat forming on my brow as I called out, my voice quivering, "Hello, who's there?" The figure remained motionless, a haunting statue in the dim light. Gathering our courage, we stepped closer, our flashlights revealing more details. A tattered robe, long and ragged, its fabric seemingly untouched by time. With a trembling hand, I reached out to touch the figure's shoulder, but before my fingers could make contact, it turned, and the sight before us seared itself into our minds. Its face was a mask of decay, skin clinging to bone, eye sockets empty, yet somehow brimming with malevolent intent. Its hollow gaze locked onto us, freezing us in place, and then it spoke, a voice that seemed to come from all around us, a chorus of whispers that resonated within our very souls. "You have trespassed into my domain," it hissed, its words a frigid breeze that wrapped around us, chilling us to our core. Panic surged, and we stumbled over each other in a frantic scramble to escape, the darkness seeming to close in around us. The forest itself seemed to reject our attempts at retreat, the trees shifting and contorting as if conspiring against us. The cabin's candle flickered wildly, casting grotesque shadows that danced with glee. As we burst through the tree line, gasping for breath, the woods seemed to release its hold on us, its grip lessening with every step we took away from that accursed place. The memory of the figure's haunting gaze lingered, a reminder that some secrets were best left undisturbed, that the deep woods held terrors beyond our understanding. And as we stumbled back into the safety of our town, we knew that the woods would forever be a place of whispered dread, a place where the line between the living and the dead was thin and treacherous. The shadows stretched long as the sinking sun cast eerie hues through the gnarled trees of the deep woods. I ventured into those woods against the warnings of the townsfolk, driven by a morbid curiosity that gnawed at my insides. The air grew thicker with each step, an unsettling stillness blanketing the surroundings. My footsteps felt muffled, absorbed by the carpet of decaying leaves underfoot. The forest seemed to swallow all sound, leaving only the distant rustle of leaves in the breeze. As the daylight waned, the trees contorted into twisted shapes, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. I felt a prickling at the back of my neck, as if unseen eyes were watching my every move. My heart quickened, the sensation of being pursued intensifying. My lantern flickered to life, casting a feeble glow that danced upon the trunks. Shadows danced and leaped, seemingly alive, a sinister ballet in the dimming light. I stumbled upon an ancient stone well, its mouth gaping like a hungry maw. Peering in, I felt a shiver crawl down my spine as the darkness seemed to stretch infinitely, absorbing the feeble light of my lantern. The air grew colder and my breath misted before me. A whisper seemed to echo from the well's depths, barely audible yet laden with dread. The voice seemed to speak in a language long forgotten, a chorus of sighs and murmurs that slithered into my mind like serpents. A rustling nearby shattered the unnatural stillness, and I spun around, my heart racing like a galloping horse. There, amid the gnarled trees, a pair of pale eyes gleamed like cold moonlight. My lantern's feeble glow revealed the outline of a figure, hunched and looming. My voice caught in my throat as I tried to call out, but the words died before they formed. The figure stepped forward, and in that moment, I could see the twisted grin etched upon its ashen face. I stumbled back, my lantern slipping from my grasp and plunging me into darkness. The woods seemed to close in, the trees leaning menacingly closer, their branches reaching out as if to ensnare me. Panic clawed at my chest as I fought to flee, but my every movement seemed to tangle me further in the underbrush. The whispering grew louder, a cacophony of voices that seemed to mock and taunt, their words a maddening jumble of languages. Suddenly, the ground gave way beneath me and I tumbled into a narrow ravine. My body ached, but my fear pushed me to my feet. I turned to climb back up, only to freeze as I realized the ravine was not empty. It was a mass grave, a pit of bones and tattered garments, a chilling testament to the wood's dark history. I could almost hear the anguished cries of those who had met their end here, their tormented souls forever trapped. As I scrambled to escape the pit, the figure appeared again at the edge, its eyes fixed upon me with an unnerving intensity. With renewed desperation, I clawed my way up, driven by an instinctive terror that overwhelmed rational thought. Finally, I heaved myself over the edge, tumbling onto the forest floor. Gasping for breath, I stumbled away from the ravine, not daring to look back. The woods seemed to stretch endlessly before me, a labyrinth of shadows and secrets. My lantern lay shattered on the ground, its light extinguished. I turned and fled, branches whipping at my face, my heart pounding in my ears, the whispering voices echoing in my mind. The deep woods held horrors beyond imagining, a realm where darkness and despair reigned supreme, and I had narrowly escaped their grasp.